Hey, what's up everybody? Hammerheart Metal Reviews here once again, doing another discography countdown of one of my favorite bands. Today we are going to be talking about the power metal legends Gamma Ray. Give you a little bit of background about Gamma Ray if you don't know much about them. So of course is Kai Hansen's band. He started out in Helloween, was one of the principal songwriters there, started out on Helloween's first albums doing lead guitar and vocals. Then gave up vocal duties because he didn't like his voice too much. They had brought in Michael Kiske. They put out the Keepers of the Seven Keys albums, absolutely legendary power metal albums. But then Kai Hansen decided to leave the band right at the peak of their popularity, which was a very strange move. But then he went to form Gamma Ray, and it made sense. He didn't like necessarily the direction Helloween was going, wanted to do his own thing with Gamma Ray. They put out 3 albums with a different vocalist. His name was Ralph Scheepers, who later left Gamma Ray to start Primal Fear. So the first 3 albums of Gamma Ray kind of mix like power metal with traditional heavy metal. But then after Ralph Scheepers left, Kai Hansen took lead vocals back on again all by himself. And I actually like Kai Hansen's vocals a lot better than Ralph Scheepers in Gamma Ray. Anyways, maybe Scheepers has a little more range. But Kai Hansen's voice just suits this kind of music so fucking well. So after those first 3 albums, they really became like this power metal beast, really mixes in traditional heavy metal with power metal, with speed metal, just so well. Kai Hansen's songwriting has always just brought in such a great sense of melody and great solos. And I actually really like his vocals, even back in the Helloween days on Walls of Jericho. I absolutely love it. But anyways, yeah, before I rant too much, Gamma Ray has 11 studio albums. I'm just going to run through them from my least favorite down to my favorite. So let's just get right into this. Coming in at number 11, my least favorite Gamma Ray album is To The Metal. This one is from 2010, one of their more recent albums. This is with Kai Hansen on vocals. I feel like at this point, his vocals are not as strong as before. I only really have this one ranked last because I feel that this album was a little bit uninspired, not as interesting as some of the other albums. Some of the songs are a little mediocre, not really as stand out. There's still a couple good songs, but overall I felt like this album was a bit of a letdown because they had such a consistent career. This is one of the few albums that I don't go back to as much. It's just not on par with the other ones, but some great songs on here. Rise, Chasing Shadows, All You Need to Know. We actually brought in Michael Kiske to do some guest vocals as well. Like, all in all, this still isn't a terrible album. I don't think Gamma Ray has any terrible albums. This is still, like, close to 7 out of 10. It's not bad. It's just my least favorite one. Move it right along into number 10 from 1991. I've got Psy No More. This was the second album. This one still featured Ralph Scheepers on vocals. This album, to me, it's just a little bit uneven. There's still definitely some good songs. There's a few that just aren't up to par with the rest of the album. This album really kind of mixes like Judas Priest with Helloween. Like, it's still decent. There's some good songs, but I just can't put it higher than this because some other albums are just better. Best songs on here, Changes is really good. As Time Goes By, One With The World is really fucking catchy. Dream Healer is great. Like, all in all, it's still okay. It's just ranked here because I like the other ones better. Up next at number 9, we've got the album right after that from 1993, Insanity and Genius. This was the 3rd album. This still featured Ralph Scheepers on vocals as well. This one's definitely a more experimental album. Still a little bit inconsistent, but there's a few absolute gems on here. Like, some of the songs are absolutely standout, absolute classics in the Gamma Ray catalog, like Tribute to the Past, Last Before the Storm, absolutely amazing. 18 Years is great. Heal Me actually has Kai Hansen singing on it. Oh, my camera's got a little messed up here. Let's try to fix that. There we go. Yeah, all in all, pretty good album, just a little inconsistent. That's why I can't rank it higher than this. Move it right along to number 8. I've got the other Ralph Scheepers album, the debut from 1990, Heading for Tomorrow. So you can see that I have the 3 Ralph Scheepers albums ranked almost near the end. One other album lower than it, but they're all right here because I do like the Kai Hansen era a lot more than the Ralph Scheepers era. But that's not to say there's nothing good here. This debut album really has some catchy songs. Kai Hansen's guitar work is absolutely amazing. There are still a few inconsistencies, a few songs that aren't the best, but there are some really good ones too. The vocals on here from Sheepers are very like Rob Halford-esque. He's a little uneven also, but his delivery is great on some songs. Lust for Life is awesome. Hold Your Ground. Heading for Tomorrow is like a 14-minute epic. All in all, pretty decent album. This is like 7.5 out of 10. But let's get into even better stuff now. Coming in at number 7, I've got the most recent album from 2014, Empire of the Undead. This is still with Kai Hansen singing. From here on out, all these albums are just Kai Hansen singing. We've done the Sheeper stuff now, so I won't say that on every album. Just assume it's Kai Hansen. This album was the one right after To The Metal, which was my least favorite Gamma Ray album. This one is much better than that album. Way more inspired. They have some fresh ideas. Overall, it's a very solid album. This one's borderline like 8 out of 10. It starts off with a very long epic song, Avalon. It's almost like a progressive metal song, something they don't do too often, but is very good. Hellbent is very fast in your face, really great song. Master of Confusion, super catchy. The title track, Empire of the Undead. I Will Return, the closing track, really killer. All in all, really nice return to form. Really great overall album. And that's why it's up here at number 7. Coming up next at number 6 from 2007, I've got Land of the Free Part 2. This one is very fucking good. It's of course not as good as the original, which I will talk about later, but this is still a very enjoyable album, very catchy songs. My only complaint about it is it's maybe a little bit too long. I probably would have trimmed like just a couple songs. I would have taken them out. Then this album would have been really solid because most of the songs are good. There's just a couple I would cut out, but there's still some really solid ones on here. Into the Storm, From the Ashes, Leaving Hell, and of course the closing epic track, Insurrection. Absolutely awesome, a longer song to end it. They like to put in these longer songs on some of these albums, and they're usually just fucking killer. All in all, a really solid album. Coming in at number 6, didn't quite make the top 5, but now let's get into that. These next top 5 albums, all absolute power metal must-haves. If you're into power metal at all, you should listen to all these 5 albums because they're all fucking amazing. Coming in for me at number 5 from 1999 is the album Power Plant. This album, it starts so fucking strong and it finishes great. There might be a couple songs in the middle that could have been trimmed, but all in all, this is a very solid power metal album. Super fucking catchy, very sing-alongable. Anywhere in the Galaxy, fucking amazing song. Razorblade Psy, so catchy. Send Me a Sign. Armageddon, another nice long one. All in all, really solid fucking album. This one's like 8.5 out of 10 easily. Could almost put this higher, but for me, right now, it's coming in at number 5. Up next at number 4 from 2005, I have got the album Majestic. This one, it's probably their most darker album, but it really suits it. Most of their albums are like pretty upbeat and happy. This one's got a little bit more of a darker undertone, but it suits the album, suits the vibe on it. The vocals are so melodic on this album. The songs are so catchy. I really fucking like this album a lot. Best songs on here, My Temple, Hell Is Thy Home, super awesome. Condemned to Hell, Revelation, another nice long one. All in all, really solid album, easily in my top 5. That's why it's up at number 4. Let's move it into the top 3. This is where it got really tough. These ones are kind of interchangeable. They're all absolutely stellar fucking albums. But something's got to come third, so let's just do it. Up next at number 3 from 1997, Somewhere Out in Space. This one could easily be higher. It just continues the trend from the album that was before it. They put out just a string of absolutely amazing albums. Like these, my top 5 are all in a row, not necessarily ranked in that order, but they had a stretch of these 5 albums that are just fucking killer. Yeah, this album fucking just got such a great melody all throughout. All the songs are awesome, super catchy. It's just a fun time. There's not really any weak moments here. That's why I have it in the top 3. Every song is awesome. Beyond the Black Hole, Valley of the Kings, absolutely amazing. Somewhere Out in Space, catchy as fuck. The Winged Horse, just all in all, front to back, amazing power metal album, easily in my top 3. Up next at number 2, from 2001, No World Order. Just another great all-around album with no filler. This album's all killer. Just absolute great songwriting, great tight performances from every musician in this band. Just awesome. The songs are so fucking catchy. Dethrone Tyranny, The Heart of the Unicorn is great. Eagle, one of their best songs ever. Heaven or Hell, Lake of Tears. Come on, these are all on the same album. It's so fucking good. How isn't this ranked number one if it's this fucking good? Well, it's because my number one is even fucking better. One of my favorite power metal albums of all time. My favorite Gamma Ray album from 1995, Land of the Free. This was the first album where Kai Hansen took over vocal duties, and it just made such a big difference. I really like it a lot more than the Sheepers era. And it's not just the vocals. The songwriting just got way fucking better too. Like, his vocals are vastly improved since his Walls of Jericho days. Way more melody. And yeah, just fucking great songs on here. This is just a return to power metal awesomeness. He kind of like brought in some old Halloween vibes to this. It's just a legendary power metal album. Best songs on here: Rebellion in Dreamland, absolutely amazing opener. Man on a Mission, Gods of Deliverance, so fucking good. Land of the Free. There's also guest performances from Michael Kiske from Halloween and Hansi Kirsch from Blind Guardian. So, I mean, this is just a who's who of German power metal. Like, everyone's in on this album. So fucking legendary. One of the best. One of my favorite albums fucking in the power metal genre. And just a great album overall. Easily my favorite Gamma Ray album. Anyways, these are just my opinions as usual. I'd love to hear your opinions down below. What's your favorite Gamma Ray album? What did you think of my list? Anyways, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Until next time, Hammerheart Metal Reviews, out!